Rumor has it that the next iPhone model will have some new and improved features. Now, it's expected to have a thinner design, have stereo speakers, and a flush rear camera. That's according to Mac Rumors. But is it enough to boost iPhone sales as a whole? Joining us now to talk all about it is Dan Costa. He's editor-in-chief at PCMag.com. So, Dan, what's your take on this so far, right? We got some rumored features here. Are these significant improvements to the iPhone, and don't competing iPhones have these features?
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing we know for certain, there's just absolutely going to be new features in the next version of the iPhone. People are already starting to call it the iPhone 7, although of course it does not have an official name. We're expecting it to launch in September, and there's going to be new features in there. And I think there's also going to be a lot of improvements to the features that are already there. Tim Cook wants to get on stage and say, this is the best screen ever in an iPhone. This is the thinnest iPhone ever. This is the best camera in an iPhone ever. And I think they're going to make sure that at least some of those things are true, and they've got enough things to say this is a superlative product.
Now, Dan, it's interesting you bring up those points because we know that Apple is always trying to put something out there that's new and better. But these sound like they are improvements to existing products or existing features or designs on the phone. So are they, if they do come to fruition, these rumors, are they enough to boost sales of the iPhone, which some have speculated are at least showing some signs of slowing momentum, those sales of iPhones?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a year, iPhones have two different cycles. They have the S cycle and then the full update cycle. So this is a year where the consumer market and the tech press are really expecting a full upgrade, where we're going to see a redesign of the form factor. We're going to see new features added to it. I think the dual lens camera could be very interesting. There are a number of vendors that have dual lens systems out there on smartphones right now. But I think when Apple does a camera, they have one of the best cameras on the market. And if they can really improve the quality of that camera and provide maybe optical zoom, that could be a point of differentiation. And then you also got to look at this. There's a lot of talk about wireless charging. If they're going to build wireless charging directly into the phone, we know they're working on it. We know they're trying to do it. Whether it launches in September is the question, and that could be a point of differentiation as well. But I think they need a couple of features like that to really hang their hat on.
Now, Dan, what we also know is that the smartphone space is hyper competitive, right? I mean, so these new features, what does it do for iPhone competitors, the competition? Does it create ripple effects? I mean, what are the folks like Samsung or LG or HTC or Huawei? What are they going to do possibly in response to some of these new features?
Yeah, in the U.S., I mean, the smartphone market is still dominated by Apple and Samsung, almost to the detriment of everybody else. It's very hard for other vendors to make an impact here, and I don't see that changing. I think both Samsung and Apple have been super competitive. They've been adding features to their products. They've got great brand loyalty, so I don't think that dynamic's going to change. Globally, I think the market's a little bit different. You've got great handsets from Huawei. You've got great handsets from ZTE that are reaching and tapping those emerging markets. So globally, it's a different story. But in the U.S., I think in September, we're going to see the same thing we always see, which is early adopters lining up to get the latest iPhone. And the fact that a lot of U.S. customers aren't tied to two-year contracts anymore actually provides more flexibility and a little bit more, a few more options for consumers to switch to new devices. And I think Apple's going to go after those.
Certainly a lot of variables to keep an eye on. Dan Costa, thank you so much for joining us here. Dan Costa on what could be the next iPhone generation. And thanks for watching. I'm Dominic Chu. Have a great day.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thanks so much for checking out our channel. Here you'll find videos packed with all the info that you need to be smarter about your finances. Be sure and subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me to see CNBC's original series Young Money, Tech Bet, Kramer's Mad Money, and all the latest from CNBC.